Hi, glad you popped in. In today's video, we are going to check in on our seedlings and see how they're doing and discover that some of them are in moldy pots. So come along and see what I do about it. Well, it's March 13th and things are popping. Holy, that's my corn. Gord was looking at it yesterday going, they're starting to lean over. Maybe you should lift those lights. So, as you can see, I've lifted the lights a little bit. You can even see my onion seeds, and those are called red globe onions. And they're coming up. I'm so excited. Marigolds are doing really well. My peppers are not up yet, but I think they take a little longer to germinate. So, and I accidentally, when I was seeded onions in that pot. So I've got onions in that pot. But you can see all the squash, the tomatoes. Look at that pumpkin. Ooh, look at that pumpkin. They're doing so well. Well, and it's warm in here. Oh, look there, there's 3. I only want 2 in there. So I'm just gonna pinch that one off as to not disturb the roots of the other ones. And the carrot's looking a little worse for wear, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, look at that. How exciting. I'm going to have a crazy jungle over there. And corn growing in my kitchen. More to come. So I'm noticing a bit of fungus on my corn. So I think I'm going to let them dry out a little bit. I don't see fungus on the other ones. Just seems to be on the corn. And it might be because they're tucked away in the corner there and not a lot of airflow. So keep an eye on it, let it dry out, and do some research. So this morning I checked my corn, and this is what I found. And I'm wondering if it's these pots, because the onions are the same. They're moldy and yucky. So I'm going to throw them all out. And I bought these pots at the dollar store. I'm not sure if, because they're quite papery, if that's what's happening. I'm going to put them in Jiffy pots and see if that makes a difference. Oh, what a shame. So, I threw out all of the moldy plant starts, which was kind of sad, but they were pretty black, and the pots were deteriorating, so I decided to get rid of them. And I've done some culling here, so I usually put 2 seeds in each pot. And I've had almost 100% germination. So I've had to clip one of the seedlings from each pot. And actually there's a spaghetti squash right here that has 2 in it. But there is one that didn't germinate. So I'm going to take one from this pot and transfer it to this pot. And then I am going to reseed the seeds that I had to throw out. So my corn, my red globe onions, my marigolds, and my black-eyed Susan vines. My sweet bells are starting to come up. The mini bells not yet, but I'm excited to have peppers. And everything else seems to do well. I thought I had some fungus gnats, but they seems to be pretty calm. I put cinnamon on there, so I did boil water and put them in this soil for my new starts. And I went to the dollar store and got some plastic pots instead of the paper pots to put to replant. And I'm going to put my corn in red Solo cups. And yeah, so that's what I am doing today. Ergo, the one that did not germinate. And this actually was from one of my spaghetti squash that I grew last year. It obviously didn't, the seeds that I got from it weren't mature. So, ta-da! So you're probably going, oh, wow, that's a big disappointment. That's a bummer. And yeah, it is. But I want to talk about the ups and downs of gardening. One of the reasons I planted the corn in those paper pots was because corn doesn't like to have its roots disturbed. I thought if I planted it in those pots, then I wouldn't have to disturb the roots when I transplant them into the ground. However, with the mold and the look of the mold, because it wasn't just the fuzzy white mold, it was black and yucky, I decided that it was best to get rid of the plants in case their roots had sucked up toxins. I don't know if that happens or not, but I wouldn't take the chance. And then I planted the corn in the solo cups. Well, we'll see what happens when I transplant them, whether the roots will be okay and I won't disturb them very much. Gardening is not absolute. There are best practices, of course, but plants are living organisms and therefore unpredictable. So depending on the variables, light, airflow, the containers they're in, obviously, water content, the frequency of watering, all of those factors determine how the plants will, whether they'll thrive or not. So I go with the flow. And this year I started early, and I'm grateful that I did, so that I could learn from my mistakes, clean it up, and try again. There's no guarantees that what I've just done are going to make a difference, but we'll wait and see. And it's all a very exciting learning process. So stick with me because there's more to come. So it's March 22nd, and I have just planted marigold seeds. I tested some of the seeds I had from last year to see if they would germinate, and of course they germinated really well, so I really like them because they grew huge, and so I've planted them again. And look, do you see what I see? I see corn. Look at that. So my corn that I replanted is coming up. The onions not quite yet. And look at over here. Did I tell you I was going to have a jungle? Oh my goodness. It is definitely going to be a jungle. But I'm really excited about it. More to come. And guess what it's doing? It's snowing. March 22nd. We were just sitting on that deck enjoying the sunshine last night. And look at it now. Unpredictable. So today I'm going to sand down these chairs and get them ready for painting. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for hanging out. I hope you pop in for the next one. We'll see you soon.